Next.
It's called unforced error. They were let in by Biden, incompetently let in, and let in by the millions, actually. 21 million people, I believe it's 21 million. And that's not even including the... We want them out of our country. And I won the election based at least partly on that. And that's a big part, yeah?
And I don't know if you saw this. Tim Walz is now saying about Trump supporters, and forgive me, I'm just reading a quote from Tim Walz, I think I could kick most of their ass.
Oh boy, he'd be in trouble.
Is there any way to know?
Well, he's a loser, yeah, I mean, he's a loser. He lost an election. He played a part. You know, usually a vice president doesn't play a part, they say. I think Tim played a part. I think he was so bad that he hurt her. But she hurt herself, and Joe hurt them both. They didn't have a great group, but I would probably put him at the bottom of the group.
Have you heard that Biden wants to get back involved for Democratic politicians, fundraising and campaigning against your policies? What do you think of that?
I hope so.
Mr. President, there are several families. Mr. President, there are families from some of the people.
Who are you with?
I'm with Annestacia newspaper from Argentina. There are families from some of the people that were on those flights to El Salvador that claim that they're not criminals, they're not members of Prender Agua, of MS-13. What can you tell them, and what guarantees can you give them that everyone in those planes were actual criminals, terrorists, as you said?
Well, I was told that they went through a very strong vetting process, and that that will also be continuing in El Salvador. And if there's anything like that, we would certainly want to find out. But these were a bad group. This was a bad group, and they were in bad areas, and they were with a lot of other people that were absolutely killers, murderers, and people that were really bad with the worst records you've ever seen. And but we will continue that process, absolutely. We don't want to make that kind of a mistake.
Mr. President, is the U.S. planning to give up the position of NATO's Supreme Allied Commander, and if so, why?
NATO is something that I saved. NATO was gone until I came along. In fact, the previous Secretary General, very good man, both of them are good. The current man is fantastic. But both of them have said, if it wasn't for Trump, you wouldn't even have a NATO, because we were paying the cost of almost all of the countries. And now they're paying. I said, we're not going to do this. We're not going to continue. You hurt us on trade. You do bad things on trade. And then on top of it, we're supposed to pay for your military. And because of what I did, hundreds of billions of dollars flowed into NATO by countries that just weren't paying. They were delinquent. They weren't paying their bills. So NATO is solid. They're strong. But they have to treat us fairly.
Are we going to give up the...
Because look, without us, NATO's not the same.
And
I can tell you, I've been having very good discussions, as you know, with President Zelensky and with President Putin. And President Putin will tell you that without the United States, he wouldn't be worried. But he is worried when the United States is involved. And I have to tell you, I've dealt very well with both gentlemen, and we have, I think we have the confines of a deal. I hope we have the confines of a deal. I'm doing it for two reasons. Number one, and by far most importantly, thousands of young people, and they're not American people, they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, are being killed every week, thousands a week. And also the United States. Gentlemen, and we have...
Mic check, mic check.
I think we have the confines. $50 billion on a war that should have never happened. If we had a competent president in this great sitting right here, that war would have never happened. It would have absolutely never happened with me. And it didn't happen. For 4 years, it didn't happen.
Mr. President, do you think you have the authority, the power to round up people, deport them, and then you're under no obligation to a court to show the evidence against them?
Well, that's what the law says, and that's what our country needs, because we were, unfortunately, they allowed millions of people to come into our country, totally unvetted, totally unchecked. So you ought to ask, did he have the authority to allow millions of people? Did Biden have the authority to do something that's unthinkable? Have open borders where millions of people poured into our country, totally unvetted and totally unchecked, just as you would say. And many of those people were criminals. Many of them were from jails and prisons and mental institutions and gang members and drug dealers. And very dangerous people. Many were murderers. We have 11,088 that we know of murders they murdered. Of that number, at least half killed more than one person. They're in our country. They're in a location near you. Biden allowed that to happen to our country, and his people that really ran the country. And the person that operated the auto pen, I think we ought to find out who that was, because I guess that was the real president. So when you ask me if we have the authority, did Biden have the authority to allow millions of people to come into our country? Many of these people, hardened criminals at the top of the line who have caused tremendous damage in our country. You see them in New York City fighting with our police. I mean, literally having fist fights in the street with our police. These are tough, hard criminals. Many of them came out of jails, and not just South America, from all over the world. They came out from Africa, from the Congo. They came out from Asia, not just South America, but many from South America. These are hard, tough criminals, and we have to get them out. And a judge sitting behind a bench someplace got a nice appointment. You can't take that away from the people that are responsible. Now, in this case, Marco Rubio has a lot of big decisions to make, and he's a fantastic person, a great man. I think he'll be our best. I think he has a chance to be our best secretary. Bad people out of our country. And you can't stop that with a judge sitting behind a bench that has no idea what goes on, who happens to be a radical left lunatic.
Do you think the judiciary is
You guys are denying this New York Times report that Elon Musk was going to be shown a 20 to 30 page presentation about a theoretical
Hi,
war plan
this is
against
Lionel
China.
Richie.
Why
What
not
better
just-
time than now?
Because I don't want to show it to anybody. You know, you're talking about a potential war with China. Now, I deal with these people all the time, and I'm dealing with Pete. I'm dealing with these gentlemen on numerous different airplane purchases, and I think they're all going to be great. But I don't want other people anybody seeing potential war with China.
Hi,
We don't want to have
this
a
is
potential war with China, but I can tell you if we did, we're very well equipped to handle it. But I don't want to show that to anybody, but certainly you wouldn't show it to a businessman who is helping us so much. He's a great patriot. He's paying a big price for helping us cut costs, and he's doing a great job. He's finding tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse. But I certainly wouldn't want, Elon has businesses in China, and he would be susceptible perhaps to that. But it was such a fake story. The New York Times is just as fake as CNN and MSDNC. And anybody read that story, people laughed at that story. Who would do such a thing? And the first thing I did is I called Susie and I called Pete. I said, is there any truth to that? And they said, it's ridiculous. No, he's over there to talk about cost. You might want to address that, Pete. But Elon was over there today to address cost. Doge, thing called Doge, which you've heard about. Pete?
That's exactly right, Mr. President. You pointed out it was a fake story. We pointed out it was meant to sort of undermine whatever relationship the Pentagon has with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a patriot. Elon Musk is an innovator. Elon Musk provides a lot of capabilities our government and our military rely on, and I'm grateful for that. We welcomed him today to the Pentagon to talk about Doge, to talk about efficiencies, to talk about innovations. It was a great informal conversation. The rest of that reporting was fake. There was no war plans, there was no Chinese war plans, there was no secret plans. That's not what we were doing at the Pentagon.
I might add that I think Elon, if they ever wanted to do that, I think Elon wouldn't do it. I think he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't want to put himself in that position. But if you read what's out of the New York Times, it's such a dishonest newspaper. It's such garbage. It's, it used to be called all the news that's fit to print. Well, it's all the news that's not fit to print. They have fake sources, or they don't have sources. I think they make most of it up. But this was a made-up story by the New York Times. I call it the failing. It's a failing newspaper. It's failing. And they shouldn't do that. They really are the enemy of the people.
And something else I don't know if
We do need honest journalism in this. We've made such big strides over the last 2 months, but we just need honest journalism, and we don't have it. When you have a CNN, you have to watch these people every once in a while just to see where they're coming from, and it's so dishonest. MSNBC is, I think, probably worse, and they're both doing horribly in the ratings. I think they're going to be turned off. I don't think.
Uh-oh.
Is meeting their Chinese counterpart next week.
Yes.
Is there anything that they can do
to stop April 2nd or to roll back the tariffs that you put on China already?
Well, we can talk, but basically, I call April 2nd, I would have made it April 1st, but I didn't want to be April Fool's Day because then nobody would believe what I said, and they do believe me. April 2nd is going to be Liberation Day for America. We've been ripped off by every country in the world, friend and foe. We've been ripped off on trade, we've been ripped off on military, we protect people and they don't do anything for us. It's just so unfair for years and years, and now some of that money is going to be coming back to us in the form of tariffs. I mean, tens of billions. It's going to be numbers like nobody's ever seen. So, NVIDIA announced today, you saw that, hundreds of billions of dollars of investment. The biggest chip maker in the world announced hundreds of billions of dollars of investment. Hundreds of billions, not millions, but billions. They're all coming here. Apple just announced $500 billion worth. They're going to build plants here. You know, they built their plants in China. They're going to build them here, and they're starting immediately. We have investment, the likes of which this country has never seen, already announced. And they all want to have news conferences. I don't have enough time to have that many news conferences, but I would say so far at least $4 trillion. $4 trillion is coming in. Car companies, very importantly, a lot of the car companies that were going to build in Mexico or Canada are now building here, because I don't want cars from Canada. I don't want cars from Mexico. They want to do it, it's fine, but I want the car companies to build here, not, you know, they were building in Mexico 3 plants, big plants, really big plants, and they were going to sell the cars right across the border. We wouldn't have the jobs, we wouldn't have the profits, we wouldn't get the taxes, we get nothing. All we get is unemployment and empty factories. To stop the onslaught, because they were dumping steel in order to stop the onslaught, because they were dumping steel in order to destroy our steel plants. If I didn't do 50% and even 100% in certain cases tariffs on steel, you wouldn't have a steel plant in the United States. And Biden was unable to get rid of those tariffs because they threw off so much money that his numbers, which didn't work anyway, because his numbers were terrible, what he did, the way he spent money was so horrible, and what he allowed to happen to energy. That's the other thing. Energy is going to be like it's never been before. Mr. Vice President is here. Do you have anything to say while you're here?
No, sir. I'm
good Vice President.
I'm just here to watch the show, sir.
Okay.
I think airplanes are pretty cool, so I wanted to check this out.
Airplane's cool. It is cool.
Is there anything that China can do to take off the trade war at this point, though?
Well, I'll be speaking to President Xi. I have a great relationship with him. We're going to have a very good relationship. But we have a $1 trillion deficit because of Biden with President Xi. More than that. I mean, I've heard $1.2 trillion. We have a deficit. And I've explained that to President Xi. We also have a problem where he's allowing fentanyl to be sent into Mexico and then cross the border and, you know, killing. I think the number is much higher than the 125, 115 that I think it's closer to 300,000 people a year. And so that's a problem. But they have a tremendous surplus against the United States, and we don't want that.
Mr. President, why do you want to control Ukraine's power
A
plant?
number of countries have come to you asking for exemptions on tariffs. Is that something that is under consideration by you?
Well, people are coming to me and talking about tariffs, and a lot of people are asking me if they could have exceptions. And once you do that for one, you have to do that for all. So, I mean, generally, I did something interestingly during 2 weeks ago. I gave the American car companies a break because it would have been unfair if I didn't. And everybody.
Mic check, mic check. Well, and hello. That is President Trump speaking about all kinds of stuff, including the new jet. So that is the F-47. So we'll go back.
Flexibility is an important word. Sometimes there's flexibility, so there'll be flexibility, but basically it's reciprocal, so that if China's charging us 50% or 30% or 20%, and I don't mean China, I mean anybody, any country, Canada. Nobody knows that Canada's charging our dairy farmers. They have 270% tariffs. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. They have up to 400%. They have a couple of tariffs at 400%. Nobody knows that. Nobody talks about that. And remember, with Canada, we don't need their cars, we don't need their lumber, we don't need their energy, we don't need anything from Canada. and yet it costs us $200 billion a year in subsidy to keep Canada afloat. So when I say they should be a state, I mean that. I really mean that, because we can't be expected to carry a country that is right next to us on our border. It would be a great state. It would be a cherished state. The taxes for Canadian citizens would go down in less than half. They don't spend money on military because they think we're going to protect them. There are many things that they do, like icebreakers. They want us to provide icebreakers for them. Oh, that's wonderful. So, the Canada, they're very tough traders too. I want to just tell you, all the people, they're tough traders. They trade very tough. And, you know, the expression I use is, some people don't have the cards. I used that expression about a week and a half ago, right? Somebody was negotiating who didn't have the cards, who's now, I think, saying that he wants to do it, and I think we're going to have a big deal on that very special something. We got to make a deal on that. But Canada has been a very nasty negotiator against the United States, took advantage of the United States for a long time. But nobody knows that they were getting 270% tariffs on dairy products.
A follow-up on Canada, and I don't think I've heard you say this in all of the talk about Canada becoming the 51st state. Are you concerned that if they became the 51st state, they would be a very, very blue state? Very, very big and very, very blue.
No, there might be, but it would, you know, you have that artificial line that goes, that straight artificial, that looked like it was drawn by a ruler. Somebody with I don't mean a ruler like a king, I mean like a ruler, this way. And it's just an artificial line that was drawn in the sand or in the ice. And you know, can I tell you, Peter, just, you add that to this country, what a beautiful landmass, the most beautiful landmass anywhere in the world. And it was just cut off for whatever reason. It would be great. Now, is it liberal? Maybe, but you know, a conservative until I got involved, because I don't care who wins up there. I frankly probably would do better with the liberal than the conservative, if you want to know the truth. But just a little while ago, before I got involved and totally changed the election, which I don't care about, probably it's to our advantage actually, but the conservative was leading against, I call him Governor Trudeau, the conservative was leading by 35 points. So, you know, so I don't know about that. I think Canada is a place like a lot of other places. If you have a good candidate, the candidate's going to win.
And I don't know if you've seen this, but the two astronauts that you just helped save from space, they didn't get any overtime pay for all that extra time. They got $5 a day per diem. For 286 days, that is $1,430 in extra pay. Is there anything the administration can do to get them, to make them whole?
Well, nobody's ever mentioned this to me. If I have to, I'll pay it out of my own pocket, okay? I'll get it for you.
Mr. President, I'll follow up on the positive sides.
I like that.
Mr. President, you mentioned the
I'll
deal.
pay it right out of my, is that all? That's not a lot for what they had to go through. And I want to thank Elon Musk, by the way, because think if we don't have him. You know, there's only so long, even though they're in the capsule up there, that the body starts to deteriorate after 9 or 10 months and gets really bad after 14, 15 months with the bones and the blood and all the things that you've been reporting on very well. And if we don't have Elon, they could be up there a long time. Who else is going to get him? And I just want to thank him. He's going through a lot, what they're doing to him. And these people are going to be caught, and they're going to be caught, and they're going to be prosecuted. And from what they tell me, I see this just by watching your programs and reading the news, but from what they tell me, they could get 20 years in jail, and they'll get it. I'll tell you, there's going to be no leniency, and there'll be no pardons. I can tell you that right
And you said this morning 20 years in jail, and then maybe you said this morning 20 years in jail, and then maybe they'll go to one of these prisons in El Salvador. Do you think with the way that the judges have been issuing injunctions, it would be easier or harder to send these Tesla domestic terrorists to a jail in El Salvador than these MS-13 or Tren de Aragua guys?
Well, I view these people as terrorists just like others. These are, when I looked at those showrooms burning and those cars, not one or two, like 7, 8, 10 burning, exploding all over the place. These are terrorists. You didn't have that on January 6th, I can tell you. You didn't have anything like that on January 6th, which is sort of amazing because on January 6th, the Democrats were talking. Nobody was killed other than a very beautiful young woman, Ashley Babbitt. Nobody was killed. And you look at what's going on now with these terrorists. These are terrorists, and that's an organized event. You know, take a look at their signs. Take a look. They're all made by the same sign company. A nice, expensive job. Now, these are the people that finance it are, in my opinion, in just as big a trouble as the people that are setting the match and setting the fires. So we'll see. It's under very serious investigation by the FBI and by the Justice Department. These people are terrorists. Okay.
Mr. President, you mentioned a deal with Ukraine.
Mr. President, what do you say to American military families who are seeing Elon Musk at the Pentagon today, are hearing about Defense Department cuts, and their thoughts are immediately going to the safety of their loved ones who are currently deployed?
Well, we're making our country strong. And when they see a thing like that and they hear that story about Elon and China, what they should do is realize that the New York Times is a corrupt institution, because I think they're the ones. They knew that story wasn't true. Nobody believed that story. People that, when I first called, they laughed when they heard the story. Nobody believed it, that the Pentagon was giving him a briefing on what war with China would look like, and he has business in it. No, they made that up because it's a good story to make up. They're very dishonest people. I have it with the Times, and you'll see more and more of it. To me, it's a very dishonest organization. But a story like that is made up. It's total fiction. And I just wanted to make sure. I called up Chief of Staff and I called up Pete, and I said, is there any truth to that? Absolutely not. He's there for Doge, not there for China. And if you ever mentioned China, I think he'd walk out of the room. He wouldn't take it anyway. So it's just a made-up story. Nobody's taking better care of the military. One of the things that I know that Pete's doing is he's talking
There was a stolen vehicle that happened at the Third Street Promenade in Santa Monica, but it was a truck that was hauling a load of porta potties. And this person took police on a high-speed police pursuit. Now, I got a call from Tipster Bobby. He sent me a video, and, you know, that truck with the porta potties over the right shoulder. But Bobby was saying that the person tried to get away, ran across PCH, and dove in the ocean. So that's what's happening. There's a lot of police there. There's a helicopter there. How that's affecting your ride on the southbound or eastbound side of PCH. You are jam-packed.
Hopefully nobody was in the porta potty when this happened.
No, I hope nothing was in the porta potty. Actually, you know what, I was telling my friends that live in Malibu, and they said, is Susie being funny, or is she really serious about it? She goes, no, she doesn't. She's serious about this. My friend Stacey said that. So right now, that eastbound side of PCH loaded up from Carbon Beach Terrace to Big Rock. Now, if you're traveling on the northbound or westbound lanes, you know, you can stick with PCH. It is slow from right before Big Rock, but wow, I would not get on to PCH. Basically leaving Cross Creek in Malibu to Big Rock under any circumstances. And we'll let you know as soon as this clears up. Surpass only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 mechanic.
Hello, that was KNX 1070. We're actually monitoring the feed from the White House from a press conference earlier today. It's not quite 4:44, but we're on the air. So let me go back to the press conference. But then again, that was a report, Santa Monica PD chasing a car or vehicle, pulling porta potties, chasing it in at Big Rock. Okay, hold back to the president. Thank you.
very fair. If India, as an example, has been very bad to us on tariffs, they charge 100%, 200%, whatever they charge. Now, Europe just announced they're lowering the tariffs on cars. You know, we charge like a joke, 2.5%. That's what this country charges. Europe just announced that they're reducing their tariffs on cars to 2.5%. It's nice. But they also have non-monetary tariffs where they make it impossible for the cars to get in even without the dollars on them, the dollar signs. It's called a non-monetary tariff, where they put on controls where no matter what happens, because they don't want cars, they don't want the American car in their market. And yet they send us millions of cars, they send us big agriculture, they don't want our agriculture, they don't want anything from us. European Union's very tough, but now it's fair. So whatever they do to us, we do to them.
Mr. President, you mentioned last month you mentioned
Portfolio. We have a portfolio that's very large, lots of loans, tens of thousands of loans, pretty complicated deal. and that's coming out of the Department of Education immediately, and it's going to be headed up by Kelly Loeffler at SBA, and they're all set for it. They're waiting for it. It'll be serviced much better than it has in the past. It's been a mess. And also, Bobby Kennedy, the Health and Human Services, will be handling special needs and all of the nutrition programs and everything else. Rather complex, but that's going to be headed by and handled by Health and Human Services. So I think that'll work out very well. Those two elements will be taken out of the Department of Education, and then all we have to do is get the students to get guidance from the people that love them and cherish them, including their parents, by the way, who will be totally involved in their education along with the boards and the governors and the states. And it's going to be a great situation. I guarantee that in a few years from now, I hope I'm going to be around to see it, but I think we're going to see a lot of it. I think that you're going to have tremendous results. You're going to have results like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, a lot of the countries that do so well. I think you're going to have a lot of those results. If you look at Iowa and Indiana and Idaho, so many places that run so well, Florida, Texas, big ones, you're going to have great education, much better than it is now at half the cost. And we're not even doing it as a cost item, although you will save probably half, maybe more than that. And you're not going to be at the bottom of the list. You're going to be much higher, and maybe you'll be, I will guarantee some of the states will be at the top of the list. They'll be comparable or better than these number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries, the countries that are in the top 5 positions. So that's, to me, it's very exciting, and it's been received very well. So I just wanted to tell you about the student loans and special needs. But we're here for a reason today that is very exciting, and I'm thrilled to announce that at my direction, the United States Air Force is moving forward with the world's first 6th generation fighter jet. Number 6th generation. Nothing in the world comes even close to it. And it'll be known as the F-47. The generals picked a title, and it's a beautiful number, F-47. It's something the likes of which nobody has seen before in terms of all of the attributes of a fighter jet. There's never been anything even close to it, from speed to maneuverability to what it can have to payload. And this has been in the works for a long period of time. After a rigorous and thorough competition between some of America's top aerospace companies, the Air Force is going to be awarding the contract for the next generation air dominance platform to Boeing. As you know, was highly competed for. There was a lot of competition, generals, and it's been going on for a long time. Very, very tough competition, but this plane is produced numbers that nobody's ever seen before. The F-47 will be the most advanced, most capable, most lethal aircraft ever built. An experimental version of the plane has secretly been flying for almost 5 years, and we're confident that it massively overpowers the capabilities of any other nation. There's no other nation. We know every other plane. I've seen every one of them, and it's not even close. This is a next level. You know, level 5 is good. This is level 6, they say. The F-47 is equipped with state-of-the-art stealth technology. It's virtually unseeable and unprecedented power. It's got the most power of any jet of its kind ever made. Maneuverability, likewise, is there's never been anything like it, despite the power and speed. Its speed is top. It's over 2, which is something that you don't hear very often. America's enemies will never see it coming. Hopefully we won't have to use it for that purpose, but you have to have it. And if it ever happens, they won't know what the hell hit them. A new fleet of these magnificent planes will be built in the air during my administration for the next couple of years. It's ready to go. They've already
0 hours, 44 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Hello, everyone. This is Annestacia Komarovsk bringing you the 444 4th Estate News. Greetings from our new set-ish in development. See, we're watching Little House on the Prairie. And that's courtesy of, oh, sorry, my mom's calling. See, it's my mom. She flashes. That's courtesy of our new device, this Roku device made in California. Or it's not made in California, it's developed. It is a Californian company made in USA. So that's this device here, this Roku. And it came with a HDMI cable, power cable, nifty remote, and batteries. So that's the Roku Ultra LT. It has the Ethernet version of it, so we can plug it in hardwired, not wireless. So just heads up on that, okay? So we were just listening to President Trump. That's his feed, or the feed coming in from a press conference where he announced a new jet, an F-47. And I have a picture of that on the screen. But first, I want to show you this. This is much more important. You see this? Look. That's my new license plate. Yeah, on the Suburban. NPP 2026. Pretty cool. So it's on the car. Just wasn't able to get out, was it today? But look for it, NPP 2026. And you're asking, what does NPP stand for? It stands for no party preference, or no political party. And it's not just my campaign. It is going to be a campaign. Oh, by the way, magic. We don't need... It's a plug for Say Rabbit. He pays for all this. So NPP 2026. Oh, hold on. Let me adjust the lighting. I'm sure God has more light. Oh, okay, there you go. See, God provides the lighting. Lighting by God. So let's see. Open this one up a little more. Yeah, we have to adjust for the daylight savings time issue and stuff. So that, I don't know if you liked it better before. Yeah, a little brighter. So that's NPP 2026, and the F-47 I have on this phone too. So let's be risky. Okay, let's go real quick because President Trump was just speaking to it. If you were watching that earlier, there was two things earlier. President Trump had a press conference where he was talking about the F-47, war plans against China. Yeah, so that's not good. And he was also talking about Canada becoming the 51st state. So, big deal. A lot of national news happening today or recently. I'm not quite sure, but F-47. And we have a picture of one of those planes. At least we suspect. And let's see. So NPP 2026, that's my plate. So I'm running for governor of California. And that's my license plate. NPP 2026. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. Business only. That's it. Taking care of what needs to be done. Yeah, I was going to talk about people going hungry. And I'm not going to go there at this moment. But this week I will. I will get a little, I just want to make sure I have good thoughts about how to address this, because no one should go hungry, period. And we'll end, what I'm going to do right now is on this other computer, I have to ready what's going to come up next. Sorry. I was, we had the press conference going, and I'll get it queued up and ready to go for you. Okay. So I have it queued up, and we'll play that at the end. I wanted to keep it kind of simple today, so that's the license plate, and we have our Galaxy phone hooked up to it. So let's see what else we have here. Oh, there's the plane. See, what you suspect? That is the plane right there. So that plane, you can't see because of the monitor, but that's likely it flying over Malibu. So, but the monitor, here, you see it on the phone? So if we zoom in on the phone, you can probably see it better. So we got a picture of it flying over Malibu. So that's the supposedly the F-47, which isn't quite out yet, but look at us. We're getting pictures of it. Oh, so that's my plate. Look at this beautiful sunset we captured. I was too, it's sad that the screen is just messed up. Oh, sorry, that was just my handiwork earlier. My little artwork. Okay. Okay, so, and there's a conceptual picture of what it looks like. Okay, so that's Boeing. So that project comes from Boeing. So back to local news. During the time that we were with the president taking the feed, there was a high-speed chase from Santa Monica. I don't know if it's a high-speed or a chase from Santa Monica to Malibu, and it ended at Big Rock. And the vehicle was towing porta potties. Fortunately, there was no one in the porta potty. Speaking of porta potties, Katie Porky, sorry, okay, KPP, sorry. Here we call her KPP. Everybody has a nickname. I have one too. They call me, I don't know, they got high pockets or something because my pockets are high. See, I got some change here. Should always carry some change. Gotta give it a church. So we all have a nickname, and KPP is Katie Porter. Katie Porter, and the P, well, you know, KPP, we kind of potty. So she sends out emails on a regular basis soliciting for money and soliciting me for money as well. So true story, folks. You can't make it up. So that was going on, and in local news back, so we're all over the place because obviously we should be on 24 hours. Seriously, there's enough news here to put this channel on 24 hours. You know what? That sounds like a great idea. The Fourth Estate Network. I like it. We're going to be our own network. Damn it. Sorry. It happens when you're live. Okay, so Chris Smith is reported to be the new assistant city manager. Christopher Smith, reported to be new city manager, assistant city manager, and he was a Candace Bond hire, who was the interim city manager or something like that, and not the city council hire. The question is why? So we get to do that tomorrow, because tomorrow here in Malibu, we have a second amended Malibu council meeting, and there's the agenda. So you can see it starts at 5 p.m. with a closed session, 5:30 p.m. City Council regular meeting. And we'll provide you coverage. We'll put the links up on Nextdoor, maybe Facebook. We're not quite sure. But tomorrow, for sure, tomorrow the 10th, there you go, 5 p.m. And then we have the regular meeting at 5:30. So they'll be discussing the session, closed session could be him. Or it could be Candace, one of the two. Okay. And the city has not issued a press release on that, or at least we haven't received it, but we did get this one. So we have a deputy city manager, but this is old news. We just reported real news, okay? Prop 50, we did our best, but we're still gonna win, okay? So we got out the vote, and we know we need to try harder to defeat bad governance, okay? Why am I bouncing around? Okay, and let's see what else we got. Oh, there's more on the Roku, U.S. company based out of like Silicon Valley area. So Roku, Little House on the Prairie, right now. Uh-oh. Yeah, I bet you don't watch these shows anymore the same way. It's kind of amazing, dude. Here, I'm gonna get some more light here. Oh, wrong way. There you go. Thank you, God. A lot of things are happening, and I've been asked to explain what exactly makes us different in the world, literally. What is the Fourth Estate? Well, we report the news that you don't hear on mainstream media. Everything that's probably not necessarily fit to be published. Anything that you probably should know. I'm sorry, this is live TV. We do record this. If you see graphics, you know it's been recorded and kind of not cleaned up, but just kind of put together. And so that's what we do at the Fourth Estate. If we make sure you're informed and we take off the filters. We don't necessarily have any sponsorship. We don't. if I pick up this device, it's not because they paid us. It's because we use it. Literally use the device. And that goes for everything we have here. If I pick up this, Our Lady of Malibu Catholic Church. I went to church yesterday at 5 p.m. Okay? This is not a plug, it's just, I hope you went to church today. They did plug that to make contributions to like World Mission Day and stuff, and just to make contributions, you know, so people don't go hungry. And that's a good thing. And I don't know if you're aware, is I have this little circle. It's a globe, like a universe, like a globe, world. World was .one, ww.One. I don't know. It's kind of interesting times to be alive. And I feel very blessed. So I'll let it go for this Sunday. I want you guys to have a great evening. Enjoy time with your family. And if you don't, start a new family. Come together with friends and stuff. And I'll play this video. We are the world. Thank you. Good night.
There comes a time when we heed a certain